I've coached hundreds of high-achieving directors and VPs, and I keep seeing the same pattern that's destroying their careers. They're using the exact same strategies that made them successful in school and as individual contributors. And it's the reason that they're burning out, working 70+ hours a week, and watching less capable people get promoted ahead of them. As someone who went from failing multiple interviews for the same job to doubling my salary in corporate leadership, I learned this lesson the hard way. The skills that initially get you promoted are not the same skills that get you promoted to a leadership level. By the end of this video, you'll understand why working harder and not necessarily working smarter is actually sabotaging your leadership success, and what you need to do instead to get promoted without increasing your stress levels. So let's dive into why high achievers are getting this so wrong. So what I see with almost every director and VP that I work with, they're trapped in what I call the school mode. You know the drill. In school, success meant studying harder than everyone else, doing all your own work, keeping your head down, and burning that midnight oil. Individual effort equaled individual results when you were back in school. So when you got promoted, you naturally applied the same formula. You worked longer hours, you dove into every detail, you solved every problem yourself. You were the smartest person in the room because, hey, that's what worked when you were in school, and you were no slouch, right? I had a client named Kim who was promoted to department head leading 50 people. She was doing everything she thought a good leader should do, staying late to review everyone's work, jumping in to solve problems, making sure nothing fell between the cracks. The result? She was miserable. She was working 70+ hours a week, stressed to the point of burnout, and seriously considering asking her boss to demote her to her old job. This is someone who had just gotten the promotion she'd been working towards for years, yet she was considering giving it up. And when I tell leaders like Kim that they need to work less, delegate more, and step back from the details, you know what happens? They argue with me. They tell me they can't possibly take the time for higher level strategic thinking because they're too busy keeping everything running. And here's the brutal truth. That mindset isn't just wrong, it's exactly what's keeping them stuck. And here's what most high achievers don't understand. And this completely blew my mind when I discovered it. The behaviors that made you successful as an individual contributor are actually the opposite of what makes you successful as a leader. In school and in your early career, more effort meant better results. You studied harder, you got better grades. You worked harder, you got better performance reviews. It's a direct correlation, right? But once you hit that director level, that formula flips completely. Your job is no longer about what you can do, it's about what you can get done through others. Look at Brett. He was a director at a late-stage biotech startup. He's a brilliant guy. He could see the inefficiencies everywhere around him, but he was stuck in this individual contributor mode, trying to fix everything himself, working harder and harder to solve problems, but yet just getting more and more frustrated. Most high achievers would double down here, saying, I need to work even harder, study the problem more, put in more hours. And that's the school mindset that's talking. And all it does is end up making people more frustrated and feeling like they're never going to get that next level promotion that they know that they're capable of doing. So instead, with Brett, we helped him realize something counterintuitive. His value wasn't in solving the problems himself, it was in building systems and empowering his team to solve problems without him. It was in working with some of his peers to see those opportunities where if they worked together, they could have more impact. Within 2 years, Brett moved up 2 levels to SVP and became a trusted advisor to the founders. Same company, same people, but he stopped trying to be the smartest person in the room. and he started being the person who got maximum leverage from his resources. The difference, he stopped doing and started orchestrating. So what actually works for high achievers who want to break free from the school mode trap? After years of coaching directors and VPs, I've identified 3 counterintuitive shifts that separate leaders who get promoted from those who burn out and just stay frustrated. First, stop trying to be the expert. Start being the authority. Most people who don't get promoted to that next level because they think they need to know everything about everything in their department. But you were promoted because you've already proven you're capable. Your job now is to make decisions and direct resources, not to have all the answers. I had one client tell me, I finally realized I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I just need to know how to get the right answers from the right people. Pretty simple, right? That mindset shift alone cut his work hours by 20%. How fabulous is that? Second, strategic letting go. This is where I get the most pushback from people. You need to allow some controlled pain to surface in your organization. When you're constantly swooping in to fix problems, you're enabling your team's dependence on you. And you know what? You're only going to rise as quickly as you develop the people under you. Remember Kim? She was working 70+ hours because she was solving every problem herself. It's the classic individual contributor trap. We helped her identify what she needed to stop doing, even if it meant that things got temporarily messy. What was the result? Her team stepped up, they took ownership, and she dropped to under 50 hours a week, which is pretty normal for leaders. And this was all while her department's productivity increased. So great. Love that story. Third, invest time in leverage activities. Instead of grinding through task lists, you need to carve out those few minutes here and there for higher level activities. Prioritizing, communicating vision, training your staff. These are the leverage points in your department. These investments elevate you to the level of authority that was yours all along, but that you didn't know how to truly inhabit. So here's what I want you to understand. If you're a director or VP working more than 50 hours a week consistently, you're not being a better leader. You're still thinking like that A student back in college or back in high school. The work harder, do it yourself, be the smartest person in the room mentality that got you this far will keep you stuck right where you are. Worse, it'll burn you out while you watch people with half your talent get promoted ahead of you. And that's the worst, right? Look, I've lived this. When I was going through that director promotion years ago, I failed the first interview because I walked in thinking like an individual contributor, not like a leader. I was focused on proving I could do the work instead of proving I could orchestrate results through others. It wasn't until I hired a coach myself who helped me make that mental shift to start thinking like someone who was already in the job. That's when everything changed. And when I finally got promoted, I doubled my compensation in the first year. So awesome. So that's the shift that I help my clients make. Not just working differently, but thinking differently about what leadership actually means. If you're a director or above and you recognize yourself in Kim or in Brett's story, if you're working long hours, feeling trapped by the details, or frustrated that your hard work isn't translating to career advancement, I want to help. I work with ambitious, high-achieving professionals to confidently increase their career success and satisfaction without working harder or increasing their stress levels. If this resonates with you, book a call with me. There's a link below, and we'll talk about where you're stuck and create a roadmap to get you promoted while working reasonable hours. Stop trying to outwork everyone and start out leading them instead. I'm Terry McDougall, the secret weapon for high achievers who want to get ahead in their careers.